Hu Lei. Originating in Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907, Hu Lei is a plucked string instrument very similar to pear-shaped lute in shape. There have been different versions as to the origin of its name Hu Lei. Some people thought that the term Hu Lei was the ancient name for crocodiles. Since the instrument was made of the animal's teeth, it was thus named accordingly. Other people held the idea that it was named because the music it produced sounded like the thunders. Hu Lei does have a clear and powerful penetrating sound. It's a result of wisdom from ancient craftsmen. It was brought to the local societies from the court and has undergone so many times of changes in the major players. With the promotion and propaganda from the literati in different ages, the value of Hu Lei has already exceeded the ordinary ancient instruments, and it certainly deserves being called the witness of the cultural and historical development of ancient musical instruments. The legend of the small Hu Lei. The small Hu Lei, 45 centimeters long in total and 16 centimeters wide in the belly, is made of a whole block of hardwood. The bottom of the instrument was carved hollow in an oval shape and covered with the python skin, which forms the resonator box in a shape of a half pear. The upper part is the neck, narrow at the top and wide at the bottom with no frets on it. Directly below the neck is a narrow rectangular sound hole. The head is carved exquisitely into a dragon head, whose mouth holds a small movable ball. On the left side of the curved neck at the head are installed two pegs made of ivory. In the reign of Emperor Dezong, 780 to 805, in the Tang Dynasty, Han Huang, a well-known painter, came across a very valuable rosewood block in Sichuan province. He hired the craftsman to construct two-string musical instruments out of the block in imitation of the shape of pear-shaped lute. The big one was called Big Hu Lei and the small one was called Small Hu Lei. Both were presented to the emperor as gifts. In the 9th year of Dai period, 835, in Tang Dynasty, when the Ganlu incident in the court had pushed Li Yan to the throne as Emperor Wuzong, the small Hu Lei was missing during the incident. In Qing Dynasty, 1644 to 1911, the well-known dramatist, Kong Shengren, unexpectedly discovered the small Hu Lei in 1698 in Beijing. He joyfully wrote the story in a play called Small Hu Lei. Later, the small Hu Lei had passed through many hands and many places until it was missing again. In the beginning of the 20th century, a man named Lu Xing republished Kong's Small Hu Lei and aroused people's attention. The person who had collected the small Hu Lei thus gave this valuable instrument to Lu as a gift. For this, Lu built a pavilion named Small Hu Lei Pavilion and invited musicians there to play the small Hu Lei. It happened so coincidentally that among the audience at the Small Hu Lei Pavilion, a man called Zhang Ruishan had collected a two-string pear-shaped lute. It turned out to be the Big Hu Lei. After Zhang gave the Big Hu Lei to Lu as a gift, Lu changed the name of the pavilion into Double Hu Lei Pavilion and then collected all the records and literature about the Big and Small Hu Lei and compiled them into a volume. In the Republican period, 1912 to 1949, the small Hu Lei disappeared again. It was at the beginning of the 50s in the last century that the State Administration of Cultural Heritage searched and rediscovered the small Hu Lei and handed it to the custody of the Palace Museum. On the instrument, which is now preserved in the Palace Museum, there are 3 silver-colored Chinese characters Xiao Hu Lei, Small Hu Lei, in seal scripts right below the Shan Ko at the front side of the neck. On the back are carved the 11 characters in regular script, personally manufactured by official Huang and sincerely presented in the spring of Xinyo year during the reign of Jianzhong. This is obviously the small Hu Lei that was made by Han Huang. Also preserved in the Palace Museum is a big Hu Lei in similar shape to the small Hu Lei, with the belly covered with python skin and 2 strings as well. According to the verification, it was an imitation instrument made in Qing Dynasty.